Right, firstly I'm going to start by saying that I did not authorise this haircut to be this short. Yep, I'm in LA and I went into a barbershop today and said to the guy, I want a buzz cut.
You must be out of your goddamn mind!
Yeah, short, but took one stroke through it and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty short. So at that point I was pretty committed.
You should change the name outside from Mighty Sharp to the Three Putzes.
Oh, it's just a box Ferrari anyway, so it's really... Anyway, what I'm trying to say is I'm in Las Vegas and I'm starting to actually film some HoonTV stuff. I'm here at Coffee and Cars at Twin Peaks and I'm going to have a quick look around. Only goes for another 35 minutes, so people are starting to leave. That's a really cool old 911. So random footage, cool cars, and then I'm going to go head back, get my suitcase, and then we're heading to Arizona in this. Oh, g'day Rusty, how you going mate?
What's going on?
It's a big ass lake.
It is, Lake Mead. It's pretty wild. Pretty wild.
So this is my mate Rusty from Adelaide. He owns a very cool shop called Projectile Warehouse and Scoped Out, two shops in one. And we are just road tripping.
No way. Yeah.
No other reason than going to Arizona the long way, and we've got a very cool car to do it in. And stop to check this out. That looks like it'd be very fun in a supercharged big block boat.
Reckon you drive the Tremor down there?
I think I would, yeah I could. I don't know if I'd get in trouble, probably not. Right, so this is the Subaru that we're not driving. And so the other day I got to LA first thing in the morning and left the airport and picked this up. So this is a Ford F150 Tremor, but the cool thing is that this is a V8. Big thanks to Ford America and Ford Australia for helping to organise this, and I've said that already. Super cool car to go for a road trip in. Sounds good, looks good, goes good, and I've already got a bit dirty, so we'll be taking some photos of this later, but right now we're heading to some amazing custard place and then going to the Grand Canyon. Hashtag America.
This is what we're all about. Route 66.
Cruises Cafe 66. Cruise on Route 66. Truck. What's on the menu? Ribs. What else? Ribs and beer. Is that a small snowfield? It is too.
It is, wow.
Ha!
Oh, you want to go downhill skiing?
This is the holiday part of my trip. I'm up for anything. Hello Rusty.
What's going on?
Well, we're in Sedona in Arizona. Incredibly cool part of the world. Nice backdrops in the Ford F150 Tremor V8. Got 656 miles worth of gas left and we're hitting the trails.
Found a trail that hopefully is interesting. There we go, is that the first part? Happy with that?
We haven't even gone 2 minutes yet.
Surprising.
Yeah. Locked in for low range and it doesn't really need to be.
It's been done a few times. Oh yeah, there's the Jeep. I'll park it next to them, running up to the rocks.
Right, so believe it or not, I'm in Los Angeles and I've been in the States for about 2 weeks now, driving around in this Ford F150 Tremor. Super cool car, V8. And the reason I'm doing the video now, I did a little bit of stuff along the way, so I'm gonna tie that into the video, but the reason I'm doing it now is I've actually had 2 weeks to drive it, driven a couple of thousand miles and really gotten used to the car. So rather than just jumping in and going, oh, this is really great, you actually get a genuine driven, see, I'm not a journalist, I'm just one of these guys that drives stuff and talks about it. But you get my opinion of what I thought of it. So I'll spin the camera around, do a bit of walk around the car, talk about it, and tell you a bit about the trip. Right, so this is the 2023 model, and I believe new models are coming, obviously, because it's 2024. But this is one that was still on the Ford press fleet and only had about 8,000 miles on it. I think a couple other people I know from Australia have driven this car, but this is obviously a dual cab F150, runs the same engine kind of as the Mustang, and similar to what's in the current supercars in the Supercars Championship, but it's not an EcoBoost. And for some reason, maybe it's just because they sound horrible, I'm not a big fan of the EcoBoost. They are cool engines, they do everything right, but they sound like V8 Commodores. So it was nice to get one with the V8 in it. Quick walk around of the car. It's a nice grey colour, runs the Tremor package. And this must be quite a popular model now in the States, because everywhere I've been, people are, oh, the Tremor package. So it's getting a reputation for being a good off-road car. I don't think this one's coming to Australia, but I could be wrong. But it is pretty cool externally. It's got cool stuff like this. Unfortunately, it doesn't go back up if you press the button, but yeah, nice big bed for someone like me, even though it's quite high up. This would be an absolutely awesome car for towing my drag car / putting motorbikes and all sorts of stuff in the back. Plus being just super cruisy and nice to drive. Goes like stink, and it's actually not bad on fuel. I'm going to jump in the back first because I've cleaned that out, because I've got all this stuff in the car at the moment. So in the back seat, and oh, actually before I forget, I'll pop this open again. Ding ding. This is a US model, so I'm assuming the Australian ones are going to have it as well. It does have an onboard generator, which is kind of cool. You turn it on and you got 2 power outlets there, which is very cool. Inside the back of the car, there's loads of legroom. So I've had a couple of friends who have been pretty big, tall dudes in the back, yeah, no one's complained about legroom. Big epic front and rear sunroof, which I've got open at the moment because it's not too sunny here. At LA, there's no sun out today though, and it is sort of early evening. Cool thing with the back seat is that on both sides, if you pull that, you can fold that up and you've got a massive amount of room in the back. And when I mean a massive amount of room, basically, rather than putting your luggage all over the seats, that there, and we had suitcases, camera gear, all sorts of stuff in the back there, which is awesome. Down here it's got these nice big sort of tough side steps, but I'll show you them in a minute. In the back here, if I climb in, for the back it's got USB 3 and C, another 240 outlet there, that's an American plug, but cigarette lighter there, which obviously doesn't have a cigarette lighter in it, but you can plug cigarette lighter stuff in. It's got heated seats in the back as well. In the front they're air conditioned and heated. And by the way, these coffee beans are pretty damn good. If you're in America, grab them. They are chocolate coated coffee beans. Good for road trips. So big tough side steps there. Big awesome mirrors that fold in automatically when you lock the car. It's got these sort of Raptor-ish scoops on the bonnet, or the hood as the Americans would call it. Like I said, before I show you in the front, camera gear everywhere. Up under here, as I mentioned, the V8, and it is an overhead cam engine, so it does rev really nicely. It really screams, this thing. It's cool. It's not sort of lazy and docile like the old LS in my car, even though that is cam, but it revs and revs and keeps revving, and sounds really nice. And yeah, it just seems like there's a lot of room for a supercharger there, just between friends. So yeah, I mean, I'd be the sort of person to be inclined to supercharge this, but yeah, sort of typical sort of Ford layout, and it says V8 there, just so that you know, so you don't have to count coil packs. So as far as I know, the entire body on this car is aluminum, or aluminium as us Aussies say it, and that's what makes this car super light. It's got your old sort of slide window there. Don't know if the Aussie ones will have that. Quick shot on top of the sunroof. And shout out to you, Doug DeMuro. This is a pretty car review compared to what you do.
This?
But car review all the same.
Wow.
I'm just going to shift all this stuff and show you on the front. So on the inside, I've still got stuff in the door pocket, some cough drops because of Vegas. And that's not beer, that's blackberry something. Anyway, massive door pocket, so you can put your entire life in there. They come with these really awesome floor mats as an option, I believe. I'm not sure. But we were in Sedona the other day, so there's a bit of stuff in there. It's getting a vacuum tomorrow, but we have been off-road in this car. Really cool Tremor package seats, full electric. As I mentioned, these have got air conditioning and heating in the seats, which is really awesome. Down here, so it's a fully electric steering column, so you can go up, down, in, out, which is very awesome. And then the same underneath, a bit dark on here, but this button here, that adjusts your pedals. So you can see them moving up and down, so obviously if you're not the tallest person, then that helps there. On the inside, I'm going to jump in. Keyless, obviously. Press that, start it up. Built Ford Tough. And then the 75 years there, which is pretty cool. Typical things with these is it's got the different drive modes. This one's got built-in brake controller and your drive modes. So you can do full manual, so I can go 4 low, all that sort of thing, and it'll shift across. But in here, that's your rear diff lock there as well, and drive mode. So if I start twisting this around, currently we're in sport mode, which isn't fun to drive for a minute, but when you're around town it gets a bit snatchy and just wants to go. So being the old dude I am, there's eco mode. It's green and nice, and it actually goes into 2-wheel drive, as you can see down the bottom corner. It's got the little leaf there for eco mode. It just makes it a bit more economic. It's a bit doughier. I had that in the Bronco that I was driving as well. And then you go across, it's got the towing hauling mode. It's obviously going to give it more torque and everything like that. Normal mode, which is obviously normal. That is putting the car in 2-wheel drive as well. So as you see down here, I've got the little mode thing here, so it'll tell you if it's in 2-wheel drive. You can opt for it either way anyway, but and then we get into slippery mode, and then it automatically puts itself into 4-wheel drive, because the other day we were driving through Flagstaff. It was a bit snowy, the roads were wet and icy, and the car didn't mind at all, so slippery mode was what we're in. And then deep snow and sand, so jumped into this there, And when you jump into that menu, it actually sets off your camera. So that means that basically as I turn, it's telling me where my wheels are going to go, which is pretty awesome. If I go full right hand down over there. So the front camera is amazing, and this screen's amazing too. There are different modes in here. So this is LA traffic for you at the moment as well. It's just red. Jump across back into here. We've got mud and ruts. So obviously for the really slippery stuff. And then rock crawling. And that puts it into low range. So we went up into Sedona the other day into some sort of rocky stuff. We're actually just looking for a dirt road to take some photos, and happened to come across a road called Broken Arrow, which is pretty common for the people around there. It's a pretty good spot. There's a bunch of Jeeps in there. None had broken down, amazingly, but the Jeep guys will love me for that. But yeah, this car just went through and it was fine. Loved it. So, and that's about it. So right through the range, I'm going to put it back into Eco, because I'm going to be moseying my way back down through LA traffic. And as you see, when it's in rock crawl mode, it actually locks the rear diff as well. So massive screen here, full Apple CarPlay, Spotify, all the sorts of stuff you want, all your apps. It's pretty common of a new car these days, but massive screen, like that's really cool. And I actually like the orientation being like this, not vertical like some of the others, but you can dive straight in and go to the camera mode as well. It'll do this for when you're parking automatically. Yeah, parking assist, sort of vertical overhead here, and you can look at all the different angles and so forth. And yeah, it helps you park. It's really nice and easy to use. Parking sensors, you can turn them on and off. Traction control, you can turn that off, which is good fun. But other than that, one thing that people are always talking about with these cars is it's got this sort of gear stick set up here, which is so your normal gear stick. You go in a manual mode as well, and it's got up and down here, which I think is a bit weird being on the side there, but I think maybe because this is an off-road vehicle, they don't have paddles on it and stuff, because you're going to be slapping around on the steering wheel. But it's getting angry with me at the moment because I've got the door open. If I take this bottle of water out of here and press this button right here, for your tradies or workers that are in this car or whatever you're doing, you grab this here, and you've got like a full workbench here, so when you're just doing some jobs or whatever, when you're not driving, because obviously you can't get the gear stick, that goes like that, and then the gear stick, which is there, which we can't get to at the moment, just pops back up. But with this electric gear stick in here as well, it's kind of cool. If I'm driving and I pull up and put on the handbrake and shut the car off, so button off, the thing automatically puts itself into park, which is pretty cool. Right, so anyway, the cool thing about the road trip was I had my friend Rusty, he came with, he's from Adelaide. We went to a big convention in Vegas. I picked up the car first thing in the morning on Monday, very sort of tired and stuff like that, but I managed to sleep on the plane a bit. Jumped in the car, started heading straight to Vegas, didn't even stay around LA, didn't even get an In-N-Out burger. And then basically headed for Vegas. I found some tracks off the side of the road, so I stopped and grabbed, because I wanted a quick break, grabbed some photos, and then went to Vegas, stayed there for about 4 days. And then we hit the road and we're heading towards Arizona, but we took the long way. We went to the Grand Canyon. A couple of people said, hey, it's just a big hole in the ground, but when you get there, it is enormous and you don't realise. I think the best way to see it, and hopefully next time I get to go back there, if the opportunity pops up, pretty keen to jump in a helicopter and go for the helicopter tour, because I think it's 288 miles long or something like that. So yeah, pretty cool to see. Privilege that got to go there and check it out. Also went to the Hoover Dam. Seen that in a bunch of movies before. I've seen it getting blown up and everything like that. Somebody setting off fireworks over there. After that, kept going south. Yeah, ended up in Flagstaff and Sedona. Sedona, we found the off-road track and got some really cool shots of it. Didn't have a lot of time because the sun was coming down, but yeah, nice anyway. I'd love to go spend a whole day there in something that was really well set up. From there, we went to Prescott. Prescott's a nice little town. It's cooler weather than Phoenix because it's a little bit further north. From there, we headed to Mesa in Phoenix, well, sort of outside of Phoenix, Arizona. Went there, shot some guns, did some cool stuff. From there, the plan was to go straight across to Los Angeles, and we decided to take the long way. We went south, went all the way down through and off the highway to a place called Calexico. The wall is pretty insanely big and incredibly heavily patrolled. So we went and checked that out. As far as I know, it's Calexico on one side, Mexicali on the other, and it appears like a lot of people come from Mexico across the border daily to work and so forth. They must have work permits and so forth. But yeah, interesting place. And kind of followed the border for a bit, went across and ended up in San Diego. Stayed there for a night, caught up with my good friend Justin Lim. Justin owns a really cool shop called Cartoon, which he and a friend Jeff own, and yeah, they do some cool stuff in there. But after that, headed back up in LA now. Yesterday I caught up with Mr. Zachary, went for a quick spin in his Jimmy with the 572 big block in it.
So every time Zach starts his car up, this happens. Like everyone walks out.
Big line brings the boys to the yard, man.
It is as loose as it looks in the videos, in a good way. It's actually a really nice car. It's got the old school patina and everything like that, but it's just had all the interior retrimmed. The engine's super cranky. It's got loads of torque. It's a beast. It's loud, and yeah, it's just cool. It's kind of a reflection of what he likes in cars. He likes it big and noisy and angry. So other than that, the sun's coming down. I've got 2 more nights in LA. I'm heading east after this, but unfortunately the car's going back to Ford. And yeah, can't thank Ford enough for lending me this car. It is super cool. I would definitely own one myself. Here's to next time, see what we can manage to scrounge up and beg, borrow and steal from Ford on the next trip. But yeah, again, big thanks to them. And it was awesome actually today, speaking of Ford utes, to see Jim Farley, the big boss of Ford, out there with Chaz Mostert doing Aussie things. So yeah, let's go chill out in LA, grab a beer, and then plan what's happening next.